Alright, so this is where we left off in 3ds Max with the bone pose and the lowest weight body set up in 3ds Max. Now, for this section of the video, I'm going to set up the Morpher. Now, the Morpher in 3ds Max is essentially the same structure that that Skyrim uses to change body weight. And, well, I'm just going to go through the process, and you'll understand when I get through it. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to target the body, and then we're going to scroll over here to the right, and we're going to click on this little tab called Modify. And so you'll see these three options here. You'll see the BS Dismember Skin Modifier, you'll see Skin Modifier, you'll see Editable Mesh. Now, we're going to click on Editable Mesh right here, and then we're going to mouse up here to the modifier list, and we're going to click on that down arrow, and this enormous list of stuff comes up. But of course we're not really going to graze most of that stuff, just a couple things. And so we're going to scroll down here, and we're going to find Morpher and click on that. Now when you do that, this little Morpher panel comes up right here. And now, for our second step, now that we have the Morpher modifier on the base body, what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to Import, and we're going to import the highest weight body, the FEMA 1 NIF. Alright, I'm going to open that. Make sure you have all those checked off. Import. And now what I have in my scene is basically the bodies are kind of overlapping each other at this point. It's kind of hard to tell them apart, but you can always just try to click around until you finally land the right one. However, if you don't want to do that, a handy tip is to mouse up over here to the Select by Name button. When you click on that, all the things that you can select in the 3ds Max scene come up, and you can just scroll down. Most of those are just bones. You just scroll down here to the very bottom, and these two bubbles here represent body pieces. And so we have the full weight and the no weight. So I want to click on the no weight here and make sure I have that one. There we go. And now I'm going to go to my Morpher, and I have this little box here that says empty. I'm going to right click on that and select Pick from Scene. Now I'm going to scroll over here, and when I go over the full weight body, it gives me a little crosshair. So I'm going to left click, and now the full weight body is in the panel. After you have that done, what you can do is you can click on the full weight body, and you can just hit delete. And now you can click on the low weight body, go to your Morpher, and if you go over to the panel we selected, just click on the up arrow, and as you click on the up arrow, the body will slowly morph into what was the full weight body. And now that we have that set up, if you'd like to, you can just save this file as basically what you start with every time you want to modify an armor. And speaking of which, we should save now. Make sure to save often. You never know when you're going to hit a wrong button and mess everything up. So I'm going to hit Save As, go to a file where I save all my stuff. That is not it. Oh, whatever, I'll just save it to desktop for now. And I'll save it as something like, I'll save it as a Cherry Highlights Morpher Scene. And I'll just save it as that. And every time you want to modify a new armor, you'll just open up that scene, and your body will already be set up. You won't have to go through that process anymore. Alright, so now that's saved. Now let's see how much time I'm running off of. It's doing that thing. Okay. Alright, we got some time. Alright, so now that's setting up the Morpher. Now, before I start importing the armor in, I'm going to add another modifier to the body type, and it's going to be called the Smooth modifier. So just scroll down here and find Smooth, and left click on that. And when you do that, there's some smoothing groups down here. You want to click on 2. Now what these smoothing groups do is basically they help protect the mesh when you export it. See, when you export things out of 3ds Max, some of the properties get messed up. That's where NIF scope is going to come in, and I'll get more into that later. But this smooth modifier here basically helps protect the mesh from getting messed up. And some tutorials I've read out there, people don't even mention smoothing groups, but every time I have not used smoothing groups, it's gotten messed up. I don't know how they get past it, but as long as you're going to do this process, you might as well just do smoothing groups. If it never hurts, at least it always helps in my in my experiences. So just have that, and now let's see. We have the body, the morpher, the smooth modifier, and now it is time to bring in an armor. And so I'm going to go to import, and I'm going to go to a place in my computer where I have the base BSA file saved. And armor, I've decided that I'm going to use the Stormcloak Officer armor, outfit F for female. Make sure you have all those checked off. Once you check them all off the first time, it should stay the same the whole time, so you shouldn't have to worry about it more than once. And I'm going to import that, and now you get a bunch of stuff. Once you import that, what you see here is I still have all the stuff I had, but now I have the armor and this dummy body that came along with it. So if you can click to it clearly, great, and just click on it, then hit delete and get rid of it if you don't want it. And go ahead and go to select by name again, and this is a great tool to make sure that there's nothing hiding on the scene that you can't see. So now I have just the clothes and the body. That's just what I want. So I'm going to click on OK. Alright, so now that's that part of the video. This was creating the Morpher scene. And now for the next part of the video, we're going to go over what modifiers we need to have on the armor and begin the exporting process.